You've felt it, haven't you? That subtle, undeniable pull inside you, telling you that this moment right here, right now is different. You're not here by accident. You didn't just find this message randomly. You're here because you're being called. You're being shown signs over and over again, but maybe you've been brushing them aside. Maybe you've been telling yourself, it's just a coincidence, or I'll deal with that later. But let me tell you something, there are no coincidences. The universe, the divine, the energy that surrounds all of us, it's intentional. It doesn't waste its time on randomness, and you are being called to awaken now. But why now? Why you? Why this exact moment? Because you're ready. The signs have been building up, haven't they? Maybe it's been a number that keeps showing up on your phone, on a receipt, in the strangest places. Or it's a recurring dream, a feeling that you can't shake, an inner voice that tells you, this is it. This is your time. But here's the thing, these signs won't wait forever. The universe is patient, but it won't wait endlessly for you to step into your power. It's like a door that's been left open, just enough for you to peek through, but it won't stay open forever. Are you going to walk through it? Let's get real for a second. Why have you been ignoring these signs? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Maybe you've been telling yourself that you'll awaken when things are perfect, when you've got your life together, when you feel like you're really ready. But let me ask you something, what does ready even mean? Because here's the truth that most people won't tell you, you're never going to feel fully ready. That's the trick of this spiritual journey. We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, but they never come. The universe doesn't call you when you're comfortable. It calls you when it knows you're on the edge of something massive, something game-changing. And here's the most important part, you're ready when you decide you're ready.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
So, let's dig deeper. What have been the signs for you? Maybe it's synchronicities, those moments when things line up in ways that defy logic. You think about someone and they call. You're wondering about a certain life direction, and suddenly a book, a video, or a conversation drops into your life like it was meant just for you. But here's where most people get stuck. They notice these signs, but they don't act on them. They think, that's weird, and then move on with their day. But what if those signs are the universe screaming at you, wake up, pay attention? And then there's the inner signs. Have you been feeling a restlessness lately? Like no matter what you do, there's this subtle ache inside you, a sense that things are not quite as they seem. That's your soul trying to break through. That's your higher self telling you that the life you're living now, the version of yourself you've been playing out, it's not the full picture. Deep down, you know this. You know you're capable of more. So why are you holding back? The truth is, most of us are scared to step into our power. We're afraid of what will happen if we fully awaken. What if I can't handle it? What if it changes everything? But here's the thing, awakening isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally becoming who you really are. It's about stripping away the layers of doubt, fear, and conditioning that the world has placed on you. It's about standing in your truth, fully and unapologetically. Can you imagine what that would feel like? To walk through life knowing, without a doubt, that you are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. That's what awakening brings. It doesn't promise easy, but it promises real. And isn't that what you've been craving all along? But let's not sugarcoat this. Awakening isn't always comfortable. Are you ready for that? It's going to ask you to confront the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. The parts that you've buried because they were too painful, too messy, too complicated. But here's where the magic happens. When you face those parts of yourself, you unlock the door to your deepest power. You realize that the things you've been running from are actually the keys to your transformation. So let me ask you this: what are you running from? What part of yourself have you been avoiding? Because that's where your awakening lies. That's where the universe is pointing you. It's not in the shiny, perfect moments. It's in the raw, real, messy parts of your life. The parts where you feel lost, confused, and unsure. That's where the gold is. But you have to be willing to go there. Now, let's get practical. How do you stop ignoring the signs and start stepping into your awakening? Well, first, you've got to slow down. You've got to start paying attention to the subtle nudges, the whispers of your soul. And here's the key: you've got to trust them, even when they don't make sense, even when they seem completely out of left field. Because here's the thing about awakening: it's not about logic, it's about intuition. It's about feeling your way through, even when your mind is telling you it's crazy. Now that we've talked about the signs and the undeniable pull you're feeling, let's dive deeper into the actual awakening process. This is where the real work begins. You've been getting these signs, these nudges, but what comes next? How do you move from noticing them to actually using them as a guide to transform your life? The key lies in trusting the signs, trusting your intuition, and most importantly, trusting yourself. First, you need to understand that the signs aren't random. They're like breadcrumbs leading you down the path of your soul's purpose. But here's where most people get stuck. They overthink. You see the signs, and your mind immediately jumps in with questions like, what does this mean? Is this really for me? Am I making this up? Your mind is trying to protect you, to keep you in the familiar, because stepping into the unknown feels risky, right? But awakening requires that you move beyond the mind. It's not about logic, it's about feeling. It's about tuning into that deep, inner knowing that goes beyond words, beyond reason. Can you trust that part of you? Here's the thing: the mind will always doubt. That's its job. But your soul, it knows. It's been guiding you all along. The signs you've been seeing, they're coming from that deeper part of you that's connected to the universe, to the divine. And that part of you is screaming, wake up. Why? Because you're ready. The timing is now. But to fully step into this awakening, you've got to let go of the illusions that are holding you back. What illusions am I talking about? Well, think about it. What stories have you been telling yourself that keep you small? Maybe it's the belief that you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that you don't have what it takes to truly awaken and live a life aligned with your highest self. These are the illusions that the world has placed on you. They've come from years of conditioning, from society, from family, from past experiences, and they've created a false identity. But here's the truth: you are not those stories. You are not your limiting beliefs. You are far more powerful than you've been led to believe. So, how do you break free from these illusions? You start by recognizing them. You start by getting brutally honest with yourself about the ways in which you've been holding yourself back. And then you take action. Have you ever noticed how the moment you take a step towards something that feels aligned, the universe responds? It's like an energetic exchange. The moment you trust the signs and act on them, doors start opening. Opportunities come out of nowhere. Things start aligning in ways you couldn't have predicted. That's because the universe responds to movement. It responds to faith. But here's the catch: you have to take the first step. The universe can only meet you halfway. It's been sending you signs, it's been nudging you, but now it's your turn to act. Are you willing to take that leap? Are you willing to trust that the signs you've been seeing, the feelings you've been having, are guiding you to something bigger? Here's a practical way to start. Pay attention to what lights you up, what excites you, what pulls at your soul. These are your clues. Awakening isn't about following a rigid set of rules. It's about following your joy, your passion, the things that make you feel alive. When you ignore those things, you go back to sleep. But when you follow them, you wake up to a life that's filled with meaning and purpose. And remember, awakening is a process. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a journey, and along the way, you'll encounter challenges. You'll face moments of doubt, fear, and resistance. That's normal. The key is to keep moving forward, to keep trusting, even when it feels hard. Every step you take is a step closer to the true you, the awakened you. So, what's your next step? What's the one thing you can do today that will move you closer to your awakening? Don't wait. Don't second guess. The signs are there for a reason, and they're waiting for you to act on them. Are you ready? I'm ready. Now, here's the next step in this journey, staying awake. It's one thing to feel the initial sparks of awakening, to start seeing the signs and following them. But it's another thing entirely to keep that momentum going, especially when life inevitably tries to pull you back into old patterns. And trust me, it will. The pull of your old life, your old self, can be strong, even seductive. But here's the key: you don't have to fall back asleep. So why do we slip back into those old patterns? Why, after getting a taste of awakening, do we sometimes find ourselves right back where we started, stuck, frustrated, disconnected? It's because the mind loves what's familiar. It craves comfort, even if that comfort comes from places that no longer serve us. Have you noticed that when things start to change, part of you clings to the past? It's like a rubber band snapping you back to the way things were, even when you know deep down that you're ready for more. The first step in breaking this cycle is awareness. You need to recognize when you're slipping back into those old habits, those old ways of thinking. Are you paying attention to your patterns? Do you notice when you're starting to make decisions based on fear or doubt rather than trust and intuition? The more aware you become of these moments, the easier it will be to catch yourself before you fall back into the same traps. But awareness alone isn't enough. You need to build new habits, new patterns that align with your awakened self. How do you do that? It starts by consistently choosing actions that support your growth. Every day you need to take steps, no matter how small, that reinforce the new you. Maybe it's a daily meditation practice. Maybe it's journaling your thoughts. Maybe it's surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and hold you accountable. Whatever it looks like for you, the key is consistency. Are you willing to commit to your awakening, even when it's difficult? And finally, give yourself grace. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. You will have moments when you slip, when you feel like you've taken a step backward. That's okay. What matters is that you don't stay there. Can you forgive yourself and keep moving forward? Now that you've recognized the signs, trusted the process, and committed to staying awake, the next chapter in your journey is perhaps the most beautiful and profound: living fully awake. This is where the magic really happens. It's where you stop just glimpsing your potential and start embodying it. Living fully awake means that every part of your life, your thoughts, your actions, your relationships becomes an expression of your true self, aligned with the universe. But let's be real. What does it mean to live fully awake? It means living with intention. It means that you no longer allow life to just happen to you. Instead, you become a conscious creator of your reality. You start making choices, not out of fear or habit, but out of love, purpose, and clarity. You wake up each day knowing that your life has meaning, that you are here for a reason, and that every step you take is bringing you closer to fulfilling your divine purpose. Let me ask you something. What would your life look like if you were fully aligned with the universe? Imagine waking up every day feeling connected not just to yourself, but to everything around you. Imagine moving through life, with the deep knowing that you are supported, that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when things don't make sense. That's the power of alignment. It doesn't mean everything becomes easy, but it means that even the challenges serve a purpose. They become stepping stones on your path, not obstacles. Living fully awake also means embracing your purpose. And here's the truth: your purpose isn't something you need to search for. It's already within you. It's who you are at your core. The more you align with your true self, the more your purpose reveals itself naturally. It doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't need to be some grand, external mission. Often your purpose is found in the simplest, quietest moments of authenticity, when you're being yourself, fully and unapologetically. So, as you live fully awake, ask yourself daily, am I aligned with my truth? Am I living from a place of love, not fear? Am I trusting the signs and allowing the universe to guide me? When the answer is yes, you'll find that life flows effortlessly. You'll realize that you're not just awake, you're alive in the deepest, truest sense. Are you ready to embrace that life?